Welcome back to the culture, the hottest broadcast in the game. Go to my playlist section. We have already released over 50 episodes and we have an entire playlist dedicated to this series. In this series, we shine a light on who's really committing some of the most heinous crimes here in the United States and around the world. This project was inspired by years of me listening to certain conservative voices in the media focus on crime in the black community as if crime was unique to us. So that pushed me to dig deeper into the true crime data, the headlines and the statistics to see where the true criminality is actually coming from. Now, everything I'm talking about is based on publicly reported cases and verified information. This content is for educational and commentary purposes only. Now, let's get into it. Now, today's video is going to be a follow-up video to one I dropped a couple weeks back entitled, "A Grifter Tries to Expose Somali Scammers but Avoids the Biggest Scammers in the Whole Country." And of course, in that video, I was talking about conservative media personality Nick Shirley. I remember he first came on my radar around the time when that federal operation against the Canal Street vendors, the guys selling, Louis Vuitton bags and Chanel bags on Canal Street. He was the one that made that go viral, and that led to a federal operation by the immigration enforcement, and those brothers got rounded up. Now, of course, he never approaches the scammers in his own community. Just in the last episode of The Culture, yesterday or the other day, we talked about an individual who went down, caught a federal indictment, a federal case, because he launched the biggest scam in the history of Georgia. Hundreds of millions of dollars, thousands of victims of this Ponzi scheme, right? But of course, Nick Shirley would never confront individuals like that because that would expose the fact that his demographic is the biggest scammers in the whole country and probably the whole planet. Now, recently, he came up on my radar again, right? He's been grifting off the whole Somali trending topic on social media, getting a lot of views and clicks on YouTube. If you remember, we covered that topic.
We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
We're just wondering where the kids are.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
And where are you? Which department?
Oh, we are from ourselves.
Yeah.
Hello, we'd like to ask where the money's going.
Hey, show me the kids. Show me your kids. Hey, open up and let me and this elderly man look at all the kids in there. Well, they won't open up and let me see the kids, so they must be committing fraud.
Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the children at? Where are the children at? Where are the children at?
So that's basically been Nick Shirley's hustle on social media, whether that's going to Canal Street and stir up some trouble with their brothers from Senegal, or whether he's going down to, I guess, Minnesota and hunting down the Somali children, right? Even though he comes from a demographic that's the biggest scammers in the whole country, right? He's not chasing down his own brothers. He's chasing down, Somalis and Senegalese and various other minority groups in the country. Now, I guess Nick Shirley has taken the show on the road once again, and I think that this time he's in Baltimore. But unfortunately for him, I think he got ran off the block, right? He tried to, hey, I'm looking for the scammers in Baltimore, but he got ran off the block, right? I think he went to a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and then he thought it was a scam or something, and then, they ran that boy off the block. Run the clip.
To do anything, we see you. We see you. We want you out of here. I don't want you here making up anything for your social influences to try to attack more people. If you want to see fraud, go to Fells Point, go to Hamden. Stop targeting us. Stop targeting us. It's not about fentanyl, because you could go to the doctors who started the opioid crisis. Why don't you do that? Why don't you go to the source instead of trying to harass the people who are out here just trying to live? Because you have an agenda, and I'm not interested in your agenda. And I'm gonna let everybody know that you're here, so nobody will talk to you.
Now, as you can see, when a grifter is confronted directly, due to the fact that they don't really have a position or any integrity or morals and principles that they stand on, everything is about clicks and views and the almighty dollar and trying to get eyes and ears and engagement on your social media. When they get confronted, they tuck their tail and they run, right? They don't have any conviction or anything they really stand on. Of course, those of y'all that have been following my channel, we have confronted many grifters in the social media space. And every time what happens? They run, right? They tuck their tail, they run, they delete their video, they file a lawsuit. They don't have anything they stand on. So in this case, Nick Shirley, he got confronted directly in his face and he got ran off the block. He ran. Didn't say nothing. They said, you talking about the opioid crisis. Why don't you go to the pharmaceutical companies, the manufacturers, the big companies, the economic giants that produce these drugs, right? Why don't you go to the doctors that prescribe these drugs, right? But of course, he would never do that because then that would place his demographic in the hot seat. He's not in the business of true journalism and actually, doing thorough investigation. He's in the business of propaganda, pushing an agenda, slandering other groups while protecting the image of his own group, even though his group is responsible for the majority of the most heinous crimes across the country, both criminal offenses, violent crimes, and also economic crimes and scams and fraud. And we don't even got to talk about the crimes against children, right? So at the end of the day, man, Nick Shirley, like I said, got ran off the block like he was supposed to, and that's what it is. Anyway, take a look up on the screen, right? This was the person who had filmed the video. They said, alert, alert, alert. I just stopped and immediately confronted Nick Shirley in Baltimore's Penn North area, both outside and inside a black church that had been featured this summer in the New York Times and the Baltimore Banner's articles about overdoses and community responses. He walked up with his cell phone filming without asking, saying that he wanted to interview black people about the fentanyl crisis and to warn people about fraud. But he is from Utah, so why is he here? We know why. Like I said, notorious grifter, state-backed grifter, and I don't even know how he's been able to amass an audience, because if you ever heard him speak or have a conversation on an interview, you could tell that this is somebody who obviously failed English class, right? He speaks like somebody who has like a 6th grade reading level, right? Stuttering and stammering and can't even express his thoughts thoroughly and expressively, right? Very remedial in his mentality and his level of intelligence. But anyway, let's get into today's episode. Play the intro. Let's go.
If you didn't know already, white men make up 29% of the U.S. population, but are accounted for over 77% of the people caught with child. You know what?
What's that? Get the f away from me now. I'm gonna knock your
off, Seth.
Why is he doing this? I just want to leave. I got my property. I just want to leave. I didn't touch him.
Palms together.
Why are you guys doing this? I didn't touch him.
First story. January 23rd, the other day, a man has been arrested after a high-speed chase and for drug possession. Let's get into it. An Illinois man is in custody after authorities say he led deputies on a reckless high-speed chase before being found with multiple drugs inside the vehicle. According to court documents, a Randolph County deputy was alerted on January 22nd to a careless and imprudent driver traveling along US 24 from Missouri. The vehicle was described as a white pickup truck driving erratically. When the deputy located the truck and activated the emergency lights, the driver allegedly continued at a high rate of speed and ran through the intersection against a red light. The pursuit was briefly called off for safety reasons, but additional reports soon came in. A truck driver later spotted the same vehicle traveling at 90 miles per hour before pulling over onto the shoulder. Deputies responded to that location and made contact with the driver, identified as 48-year-old Chris Williamson. Investigators learned that the truck had ran out of gas. The suspect admitted that he owned the vehicle and had been the sole driver. When asked whether there was anything illegal inside the vehicle, the suspect told deputies that he had vitamins in a container. A search of the vehicle uncovered a black plastic container on the floorboard. Inside, deputies found 5 amphetamine pills and 26 clonazepam pills, according to court records. The suspect was arrested and booked into the county jail, where he is being held on a $20,000 bond. Next story, January 25th, today. A 5-year-old girl died of starvation with boxes of food outside of her locked bedroom as her father played video games. Let's get into it. Welcome to the culture, man. Playing Call of Duty, playing video games, playing Xbox while our daughters are starving to death. Let's get into it. A New York father, this happened in New York. A New York father has admitted responsibility for one of the most disturbing child neglect cases prosecutors say they have ever seen. My God. Yo, bro, every single episode of The Culture, the prosecutors, the judge, the authorities saying, man, this is one of the worst cases we have ever seen in history. Like, bro, every single day, a brand new case. Man, this is the worst case we ever seen in our lives. Like, God damn, man. Let's continue. Welcome to The Culture, man. Suspect Robert Buskey pled guilty to second-degree murder in the death of his 5-year-old daughter, Charlotte, after authorities discovered what they described as a house of horrors inside the home. From the outside, nothing appeared unusual, but inside, investigators say 2 young children were deliberately shut off from the world. One was left to die, and the other confined like an object. Police responded to the home after a report of an unresponsive child. What they found was a severely neglected girl, emaciated and dehydrated, locked alone in a bedroom from the outside. Her younger brother, 3 years old, was found confined in a cage in the living room. Prosecutors say that The victim, the 5-year-old victim, had been deprived of food, water, and medicine and human contact for several months, despite the fact that boxes of food were right outside her bedroom door. Instead of a bed, she was forced to sleep, curled into an old pack and play that she had long outgrown. It became the place where she spent her final days. Authorities determined that the suspect intentionally isolated his children from family and the outside world. He never took them to the doctor. Investigators say that he spent his time inside the house getting high on drugs and playing video games, choosing personal entertainment over even the most basic responsibility of fatherhood to his children. He told authorities that, "I let my daughter die." An autopsy confirmed that the victim died from dehydration and starvation. There was no food inside her system. Both children tested positive for cocaine. Prosecutors described his actions as showing depraved indifference to human life, a charge reserved for conduct reflecting a total disregard for the value of another person's existence. Authorities also say that the victim was so emaciated that her eyes had sunken into her skull. The suspect now faces up to 27 years in prison. Next story, January 24th, yesterday. A man stabbed his father to death in the front yard as his grandmother watched. Now, you already know in the culture, it's no respect for the elders in the culture, right? Father getting beat up, father getting smacked, father getting yelled at, grandma getting smacked, mama getting yelled at. Ain't no respect for the elders in the culture, right? I've seen 16-year-old sons get aggressive with their own father. I couldn't even imagine, right? Back in the day when I was a kid, I seen young men from a certain demographic raise their voice at their own father. I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't even imagine raising my voice at my own father when I was a kid. But in the culture, man, it's no love for the elders. Let's get into it. An Alabama teenager is facing a murder charge after police said that he carried out a fatal premeditated attack against his own father at the family home. According to the police, 19-year-old Samuel Prince has been charged with murder in the death of his father, 67-year-old Mark Prince. Officers were called to a residence where they found the elder Prince lying in the front yard. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators believe the killing was planned long in advance, though no motive has yet been publicly disclosed. Authorities say the elder Prince was stabbed multiple times. After the attack, Samuel Prince, the suspect, allegedly contacted his mother and asked her to come home from work. When she arrived, she called 911. Neighbors described the victim as a respectful man who was well liked in the community. One neighbor said the victim was a dear person to their family and someone they never imagined would meet such a violent death, especially at the hands of his own child. Another neighbor recalled watching the aftermath unfold, initially mistaking the body in the yard for discarded clothing before realizing what had happened as police arrived and the scene quickly filled with emergency vehicles. Next story. Now this one is absolutely insane, but like I said, man, the culture, you already know what time it is, right? As you can see by the headline. A father and his 3 brothers have been arrested for committing illegal acts against the same child multiple times, right? So time out, the whole family, right? The father and his brothers all committing illegal acts against the same victim. Let's get into it. This is absolutely crazy. Welcome to the culture. Like I said, it's always something that you never heard before in the history of humanity taking place in the culture every single day. Let's get into it. Authorities in Texas say a disturbing pattern of crime within a single family has now widened, with the father and his son arrested after a child reported that illegal acts were being committed by multiple members of the same household for several years against the same victim. According to arrest records, suspect Carl Laza, 59 years old, and his son Caleb, 27 years old, were both taken into custody and being held in the county jail on a $3 million bond for each. Court documents confirm that Carl Laza is the father of the other suspect, Skylar Laza, 34 years old, who is a former Houston County deputy. So, oh my God. So this guy, like I said, man, the pillars of their community, right? In the culture, we discuss so many individuals going down for the most heinous crimes, right? The lawmaker in South Carolina, the judge, the magistrate, right? The city commissioner, the teacher, the basketball coach, the football coach, the priest, the pastor, the deacon, the men who are supposed to be upstanding members of the community, upstanding members of society. They're the ones going down every single day for the most demonic activity. Welcome to the culture, man. Let's continue. We have the deputies, we have the law enforcement officers and their whole family, their brothers and their fathers, victimizing the same victim. My God, for years. Let's continue. Investigators say that the child victim told the authorities that illegal acts were taking place committed by all 3 brothers, including their father, beginning when he was only 9 years old. According to the affidavits, the illegal activity continued over several years. Now, my God, I'm taken aback. I am blown away. I know we have discussed some of the most demonic stories on the culture, man. Some of the most demonic activity taking place in the culture, but I've never heard of this before in my life. A father with his brothers and his sons all just passing around the same victim. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I can't believe what I'm reading. Let's continue. Federal prosecutors allege that Skylar and Keenan Laza are charged with production of illegal images and videos involving minors, with Skylar also facing a state charge for another crime, and Keenan charged with another crime against the victim. Both men are currently being held in federal custody with no bond until the case is resolved. During the interviews with the investigators, the victim described multiple incidents involving Caleb Laza, including occasions when other family members were present during the crime. Oh my God. So this was like a family affair, a family event. Detectives also uncovered digital evidence while examining communications between Skylar and Caleb Laza. According to the court filings, these messages included discussions about the victim and the sharing of illegal images and videos involving minors. The investigation began after a cyber tip was submitted to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Now, shout out to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They be on your head, man. Like I said, shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. Anyway, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children flagged a cloud storage account containing numerous illegal images and videos. Several files included location data that led investigators to a residence linked to the suspect, Skylar Laza. Authorities said the material met the legal definition of illegal images and videos involving minors. Court records also allege that the other suspect, Carl Laza, committed inappropriate conduct in the child's presence during a recent time period. Prosecutors say the case reflects a prolonged period of illegal activity involving family members, some of whom previously held positions of trust in the community, such as law enforcement. The case remains under active investigation. Now, welcome to the culture, man. Welcome to the culture. Let's continue. Man, you never know what you're going to hear about on the culture. Even myself, I'll be blown away. Let's continue. Next story, January 24th, yesterday. 3 people have been arrested for illegal acts involving minors. Let's get into it. 3 adults are currently in custody following an investigation into alleged illegal acts involving a juvenile. Authorities said that suspect Clayton Cooper, Katie Green, and Dallas Green were all booked into the Baton Rouge Parish Detention Center in connection with the case. The investigation began after authorities received a complaint regarding misconduct that allegedly occurred at the residence. According to the investigators, evidence gathered during the investigation supported the allegations that Cooper engaged in illegal activity involving the juvenile on multiple occasions. Deputies said the incidents were not isolated and occurred over an extended period of time. So now we have another family back to back to back. Welcome to the culture, man. Detectives also determined that the other suspect, Katie Green and Dallas Green, were allegedly made aware of the misconduct but never notified law enforcement, allowing the situation to continue unchecked. Cooper is facing multiple felony charges related to the case, as well as an additional drug-related charge. The sheriff's office said the investigation remains ongoing. Now, crazy. Welcome to the culture, man. Let's continue. Next story, January 24th, yesterday. Bond has been denied for a grandson charged in the violent death of his grandparents. Right, goddamn, I told you, ain't no love for the elders in this community, right? I would hate to be an elder in this community, right? Your son gonna wake up one day, just smack fire out you for no reason. I would hate to be an elder in this community. See, in the black community, we love our elders, man. That's one thing you can say. You can say whatever you want, but in our culture, it don't matter what black culture it could be. It could be in Africa, the Caribbean, it could be right here in the United States. We respect our elders, man. But in the white community, man, they be calling their mama a bitch. They be smacking their father, man. Ain't no love for the elders. Killing their grandparents. Ain't no love for the elders in this community. Let's continue. Let's get into it. A teenager has been arrested in connection with the killing of his own grandparents. The county sheriff's office said 19-year-old Levi Jones was taken into custody late Friday night and booked into the detention center in connection with the deaths of his grandparents, Larry and Sandra, an elderly couple found slain. Investigators began looking into the case after a family member discovered the couple's bodies inside the home and notified the authorities. Deputies and the county coroner responded and quickly determined that the deaths were a result of homicidal violence. According to the arrest warrants, investigators believe that the suspect attacked both victims while he was armed with a knife. The elder grandfather was stabbed multiple times in the torso and in the neck, while the grandmother was strangled, cutting off her airway and her blood flow. The sheriff's office said that the suspect was arrested during the service of warrants and remains in custody as the case moves forward. Next story, January 23rd, the other day. An Olympic snowboarder is back on U.S. soil to face charges for murder and drugs. Let's get into it. A former Olympic athlete who once competed on the world stage has now returned to the U.S. in handcuffs, accused of running a violent international drug operation that prosecutors say left multiple people dead. The suspect, Ryan Wedding, a Canadian snowboarder who represented his country at the 2002 Winter Olympics, was escorted off a plane in Southern California this week under heavy federal guard after being captured in Mexico. Dramatic footage showed Wedding flanked by FBI agents as he was brought onto U.S. soil to face a sweeping list of charges, including murder, drug trafficking, and running a criminal enterprise internationally. Once an elite athlete with global recognition and opportunity, the suspect is now accused of becoming a central figure in a large-scale narcotics operation that authorities say funneled massive quantities of cocaine through Southern California and the rest of the country. Federal officials allege that Los Angeles served as the primary hub for the organization, with drugs moving north into Canada and across multiple American cities. The suspect had been on the run for more than a decade and was placed on the FBI's most wanted list back in 2025. Authorities say that he went by multiple aliases, including The Giant, or James King, or El Jefe. His arrest was carried out with the cooperation of United States, Mexican, and Canadian authorities, described as a major blow to an international criminal network. Next story, January 25th, today, a man has been arrested for illegal acts involving minors. Let's get into it. A New York man is in custody after allegedly attempting to trade access to his own daughter in exchange for drugs. Oh, my God, man, the culture is too much, man, the culture too much. Let's continue. According to the authorities, suspect 31-year-old Devin Miller was arrested following an investigation into allegations that he tried to arrange the sale of his own 7-year-old daughter in exchange for methamphetamines. Prosecutors say that the case involved not just criminal conduct, but a profound betrayal of parental responsibility. The suspect is facing multiple felony charges. Investigators allege that instead of protecting his own child, the suspect viewed her as a bargaining chip, something to be exchanged to satisfy his own drug addiction. He is currently being held without bail at the county jail, waiting arraignment. Authorities have not released further details about the investigation, but officials emphasize the seriousness of the allegations, noting that the charges reflect the conduct that shows a complete disregard for a child's safety, dignity, and well-being. Prosecutors say that the case represents one of the clearest examples of parental failure imaginable, where the role of a guardian was abandoned in favor of self-interest and drug abuse. Now, like I said, I briefly touched on it on the last episode of The Culture. If you remember, we talked about that one guy who robbed over 40 Home Depot locations, and when he was arrested, he told the authorities that he did it because he wanted to satisfy his drug addiction. Now we have this guy right here, right? His 7-year-old daughter, putting her on the street, put his own 7-year-old daughter on the street for sale just to get money for drugs. Like I said, it's a crazy drug crisis going on in the white community, right? And it's at all levels of society. These guys are on drugs. You know, can't forget about the alcohol, but the substance abuse in the white community, man, they love their drugs. You know, the white man love his drugs. You know, anyway, let's continue. Next story, a man accused of kidnapping allegedly told the woman that he was the child care provider. January 23rd, the other day. Let's get into it. A man is facing a kidnapping charge after he allegedly presented himself online as a trusted child care provider, a claim that's raising serious concerns after a young girl was abducted and later found safe. According to Newsweek, a woman who met the suspect, 28-year-old Joseph Bragg, on a dating site earlier this month said the suspect told her that he was a family guy and a child care provider, even describing himself as running an at-home daycare service. The woman, a single mother of a 3-year-old boy, said she was immediately alarmed when she later learned that the suspect had been arrested in connection with the alleged abduction of a 7-year-old girl in Minnesota. She said that, now time out, so this guy running the daycare fraud in Minnesota saying that, oh man, you know, I got a daycare for the children down in Minnesota, but he abducting the children. But they're not talking about this guy in Minnesota. They're talking about the Somalis instead. But we got white men abducting the children, running fake daycare services on social media, man, scamming the people, running fraud schemes and running off with the kids, right? But nobody want to talk about this though. I get it. I understand. Let's continue. The woman said the suspect allegedly offered to watch her son free of charge and made multiple comments that crossed clear boundaries, referring to the child as his future son and asking when he could take him. Just days later, authorities say the suspect abducted a 7-year-old girl in the area after she got off the school bus. The county sheriff's office described the incident as a stranger abduction, noting that there was a social media tie, though details are still under investigation. An Amber Alert was issued, and after an overnight search, police located a white Dodge Ram pickup truck believed to be connected to the case. During a traffic stop, officers located the missing child inside the vehicle and safely rescued her. The suspect was taken into custody and charged with kidnapping. The child was evaluated at a hospital and later reunited with the family. Now, I don't know what's going on for the new year, the 2026, but it's just so many kidnapping, abduction cases. Man, back to back to back to back to back. Now we got something new in the culture. We have whole families. You know, it's one thing to be like one person committing illegal acts against the minors, but now we have whole families, right? The father, the brother, the uncle, the son, all victimizing, all committing illegal acts under the same roof and filming it. Illegal images and videos. Bro, welcome to the culture, man. We just gotta, man, today's episode been very heavy. I gotta go, man. I'm out, man. It's your boy Never that's Salim. Brand new album, Black Winter, available everywhere. Pin comment at the top. Go to my playlist section, available on all platforms. Check out the new album, Black Winter. Enjoy yourself, man. And I'm gone. Peace.
Remember back when I first started, came in, I had to pay dues. Now I'm the boss, man, got motion on me, I'm flowing like a monsoon. They ain't never let me in, I had to kick a door, throw bows, had to make room. Now my name ringing, my phone ringing, you came on day 2. On my day 1, still rocking with me, still in Queens like a young 50. Highway doing 150, this lifestyle gets so deadly. I'm stacking money, it's so heavy, I stay alert and I stay ready. Got carry-ons, got duffel bags, I dance on them, do the running man. Hit the club and I make it rain, got a team with me like a young Meech. Got a Benz coupe on the pinky ring and I'm whipping something, got bucket seats, don't play with it, this bulletproof. My adversaries can't fuck with me. My main shorty, she so chocolate, I fall in love when she touching me. Yeah, spirit of kings, what I invoke. Reincarnated, go tell them we back. Yeah, fresh out the African coast. I got that heat, I got that fire. Yeah, enemy said he won't smoke. And with the truth, stay in my lane. Yeah, watching I'm paving the gold. Hop in the coupe, whipping the latest. Shorty, she love me, said we the greatest. Money and power, fucking entertainment. King of the making, still in rotation. Ride for the team, young and I'm dangerous. Waiting my turn, had to stay patient. Came from the bottom, straight from the pavement. Came from the bottom, tell her we made it. Remember back when I first started, came in, I had to pay dues. Now I'm the boss, man, got motion on me, I'm flowing like a monsoon. They ain't never let me in, I had to kick a door, throw bows, had to make room. Now my name ringing, my phone ringing, you came on day 2. On my day 1, still rocking with me, still in Queens like a young 50. Highway doing 150, this lifestyle gets so deadly. I'm stacking money, it's so heavy, I stay alert and I stay ready. Got carry-ons, got duffel bags, I dance on them, do the running man. Hit the club and I make it rain, got a team with me like a young Meech. Got a Benz coupe on the pinky ring and I'm whipping something, got bucket seats, don't play with it, this bulletproof. My adversaries can't fuck with me. My main shorty, she so chocolate, I fall in love when she touching me. Yeah, spirit of kings, what I invoke. Reincarnated, go tell them we back. Yeah, fresh out the African coast. I got that heat, I got that fire. Yeah, enemy said he won't smoke. And with the truth, stay in my lane. Yeah, watching I'm paving the gold. Hop in the coupe, whipping the latest. Shorty, she love me, said we the greatest. Money and power, fucking entertainment. King of the making, still in rotation. Ride for the team, young and I'm dangerous. Waiting my turn, had to stay patient. Came from the bottom, straight from the pavement. Came from the bottom, tell her we made it.